Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Michael Downs and I am a Chartered Town Planner in the Arup Bristol office. I'm here today to give you a bit of an overview of my background in terms of how I came to become a town planner today, the company that I work for, the projects that I work on, and hopefully give you some useful bits of advice and guidance for yourself going forward in your careers. So going back to the beginning, I grew up in Glasgow, and when I was at school, I'd say I definitely had more of an interest in the kind of more science, not science, but more kind of factual and numbers based kind of subject. So what I mean by that is it would be science and it would be math. So I liked the fact that there was a right and a wrong answer. I also enjoyed aspects of the design process. So that was less so art, because if I'm being honest, I was not a great artist. I really enjoyed though the design process. So that would be elements of storyboarding, kind of creating ideas, developing ideas, kind of showcasing ideas. So different things in relation to that. And I was fortunate enough to get decent set of exam results, which enabled me to have options. And it was when I went into sixth year, which would be kind of similar to sixth form in England, I was thinking of what I potentially like to do at university, and it was attending a careers fair. So I'm sure many of you have attended a kind of similar event. So this is when there's different stalls set up and different people from different careers talking and explaining what they do essentially. And at one of these nights at my school, I started talking to a teacher that I got on well with, and he recommended me to go speak to someone that he knew. And from there, basically, I found the career of surveying. So what this was is it was kind of quite simply valuing. What my element of surveying was, it was valuing property in order for it to allow it to be then sold. So you were then doing the report on the property, valuing, determining the condition, determining a valuation, and it was looking at this that I then managed to get a kind of job whilst I was at university. So I went on to study property management and valuation, and whilst I was studying, I'd be in university three and a half days a week. I was then working in an office one and a half days a week. And this was, I went in when I was 17 originally, and it really was, quite an experience in terms of I'd gone from school and then working in the office, and it was really excellent for my development. And I think that's been really important to the foundations of. So I worked there with the company for 4 years altogether. So my final year at school, and then also my first 3 years of university, and it was a fantastic experience. What I did realise though is that maybe long-term surveying wasn't for me. I knew that I enjoyed, quite simply, buildings. I liked the built natural environment around me. I knew that I liked design and discussions about design, but I didn't know if I wanted to be a surveyor. And I kind of took time then to think about, what do I want to do? And I'd say a real catalyst for me finding town planning as a profession was actually the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow in 2014. It was the Commonwealth Games being in Glasgow. I learned about kind of regeneration through mega events. I learned about placemaking. I learned about, just how much the built environment can affect people's health and well-being around them. And I thought that, this is for me. This is what I want to do. This is what I'd like to pursue. So I completed my undergraduate degree. I took a year out, and then I went and studied my master's in city planning and real estate development. And it was towards the end of my master's, I was fortunate enough to secure a graduate town planning position with Arup. So a bit of a background about Arup is the fact that they are an independent firm of designers, engineers, consultants, digital consultants, all aspects of the built and natural environment around us. And they help to turn exciting ideas into tangible reality. So they are not the ones kind of constructing the bricks and mortar on the ground, but they are the ones advising. They're the ones shaping the design. Arup are designers, and that's what we do. and they have been involved in a number of kind of high profile projects. So this includes the Sydney Opera House, the Beijing Birdhouse, the Queensferry Crossing in Edinburgh. So it's a number of kind of large infrastructure projects, but they also work in a kind of number of smaller infrastructure and built environment projects, and also lots of different aspects across the natural environment and now also the digital world. So I've told you about Arup, but now it's town planning. So what is town planning? A town planner essentially helps communities, companies and politicians to decide on the best way to use land and buildings. I think a good way of describing it is a planner's main job, is to help make good places. So that's towns, communities, neighbourhoods for people to live, work and play within. And I think with the last year, over a year in terms of COVID, we've realised how important it is that we live in good quality homes with access to green space, with access to, you know, within walking distance of public transport links or the places that we work. Although admittedly, many of us have been working from home, like myself at the moment, in our bedrooms, so the commute has been certainly a bit smaller. And town planners, we are, again, similar to that, we're not the ones constructing the projects, but we're the ones advising in terms of what these buildings look like and giving advice and guidance and making sure it meets the appropriate standards, you know, in terms of sizes, in terms of design, in terms of, you know, what it produces for the end user. So in my time at Arup, I worked in the Arup Glasgow office from September 2017 to December 2019, and then I transferred to Bristol in January 2020. And in my time at Arup, I've worked on projects across the built natural environment, which has been really excellent for my own experience and knowledge development. This has included, you know, nationally significant infrastructure projects on roads and rail, and also smaller scale social value projects. So it really has been quite a difference. And I would say though, the work and kind of work stream that I enjoy the most and I see myself more in the future is, I'm going to say, the more kind of people side of planning. So that is stakeholder engagement, it's looking at public consultation. I really enjoy discussions about place. I enjoy discussions about the built environment. So I think commonly it might be, you know, the civic square in whatever town or city that you live within or neighbourhood that you live in, and you know, it's the design of what that looks like, what purpose is it going to have for the future, you know, what value can it create. And I really enjoy discussing that, and I enjoy trying to create value for people and trying to create a place that people are proud of and people are attached to, and it creates value for people. And again, going back to the last year, I think access to good spaces and good places is so important in terms of opportunities, in terms of health and well-being across of so many different aspects of our lives. And I look forward to in the future working on more projects with Arup, kind of dealing with people, I'd say, and I've really enjoyed my time working with Arup so far. And one of the big advantages of Arup is the fact that it is a global company, so you have such a far-reaching network. And I'd say, in terms of a bit of advice for anyone watching, your network is so important. It is, you know, the networks I've discussed. It was the network at school that helped me to find surveying as a profession. It was the network at university that helped me to kind of identify different grad opportunities. So I'm not talking about even network in terms of LinkedIn posting or attending formal events. They are all important, and I can't stress enough how valuable it is to do these things, especially if you're at a point where you're looking for a job or looking for opportunities. But the informal network you have can be so important. So look around you, look at your friends, look who you're speaking to, discuss what you want to do, discuss your ideas, discuss where you'd like your career to go, because it really can be an excellent way of kind of finding opportunities. You know, if you're thinking something, someone's probably already thought it, someone's maybe, you know, had a plan. And I'm not saying copy their ideas or jump in and steal their opportunities at all, but it's a chance for you to learn from others, and I can't say how important that is, to use formal and informal channels of network. And I would, going forward, yeah, continue to, well, do that, sorry, in terms of branching out your network. My future ambitions is the fact that I would like to continue, well, help to contribute towards creating better places for all. So that's what a town planner does, and I think a huge element of this is helping to create a more sustainable future. And this is, like, all aspects of sustainability of something that I've worked on kind of outside, I'd say, my day-to-day job, but just a kind of background interest. That, because it has been a background interest and something that I've wished to pursue, has now become an opportunity for myself. So I've had an interest in sustainability when I was at university and in my time at Arup, and it was developing different ideas and pursuing different opportunities that did not always work out well. So it's not the fact that I'd say there were negative experiences. I learned a lot of lessons from the different ideas and thoughts that I had developed and worked on internally within Arup. And that's another bit of advice: don't be scared to fail. Everyone has, I think you look at people throughout industry and careers, and everyone's had the hurdles to get over. Success isn't linear, and everyone should remember that. And I've had setbacks in terms of the kind of interests I've had in relation to sustainability. But fortunately, again, I used my network, and it was an opportunity to participate in a program with the UN became available. Someone made me aware of that, and that was someone that I connected with in a different office, and they just knew that I had an interest, and they kind of went, "Oh, hey, there you go, have a look at this." And now as I've kind of said, I'm now on a program that is looking at embedding sustainability within business, that's organised by the UN, and it has lots of other large organisations, so that's Vodafone, Bloomberg, etc., across disciplines. And yeah, it's continuing to, that's my network, and that is not being scared to fail and learning from experiences and doing it all. And that's what I'd really say, is continue to try to create opportunities for yourself. And I think to do that, you just need to work. You need to work hard. You need to continue to expand your network and pursue your interests. I would love to contribute towards a world where everyone has equal opportunities. Unfortunately, that's not the world as we know it at the moment. And potentially for those that maybe come from different backgrounds, and for those that are at university, maybe feel like, well, I don't have a network. It's something that you can work on, and it's something that is just something you work on throughout your life. So that's all I can kind of say, is your network, develop it, work on it, formally and informally, because you don't know how important these things can be going forward. And pursue your interests, find a career you find fulfilling, and look for opportunities within that as well. Don't ever stop learning, because that doesn't happen. Everyone continues to learn every day, and it's really that's part of the fun, I'd say. That's my experience to date in terms of my career. I'm still very much at the early stages of my career, and I look forward to going on in the future and continuing to work on the projects that I've been working on currently and will work on in the future as a town planner. So thank you very much.